Hi everybody, welcome to my Friday Coffee and a Card Live. Yep, that's what I am. My Facebook Friday Coffee and a Card Live on Saturday. Sometimes that happens, sorry, but the storms here have been crazy and we have just been confined to the house, it seems like. And yesterday we had a break and I had to run errands, and so I did. And that is what it is. So I am here today. It is Saturday, April 5th, 2025, and I am happy to be here with you today. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady, and I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 28 years, and I love what I do. Hi, Penny. I'm glad you are here. So yeah, like I mentioned, we have been going through storm system after storm system after storm system, as a big part of the country has since last Sunday. And yeah, it's just been crazy. So the really weird thing is we're going to be in it today again. It could be pretty severe, and tomorrow again. But so far we have been blessed and we are safe, and I ask for your prayer covering over me and my family, and we just have to put it in God's hands. So whether out there or not, I am here to help you find the joy of card making and paper crafting, to give you tips and tricks to help that be easier and more fun for you, and then to encourage you to send out all of your beautiful creations to others and make their day. I just got to tell you, in fact, that this week during the storms, I've been up like to 1, 2 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock, depending upon the night. And I've been in my craft room crafting, and it brings me so much peace and so much joy. And I'm just going to give a shout out. I have been watching Ryan Hall. He's known by Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube, and he is the best storm system guy I have ever seen. They're just amazing. He has a whole team, meteorologists that work with him, storm chasers, and they are calling storms well before anyone else calls them, and so you can get ready and get prepared. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in a storm area, make sure you have subscribed on YouTube to Ryan Hall, y'all, and his weather system, and you will get updates, and he gives me such peace of mind watching that. So wanted to do that. Please be sure to give me a hello in the comments if you're here. Hi, Francis. So glad you are watching. So I know you stopped by, and if you're watching me later on the replay, let me know that also. As always, I will be drawing from all of the comments that you make today. Lois, cold and rainy. Yeah, I suppose, huh? And hi, Melody. Lois, are you supposed to get severe weather today or no? Is it pretty calm? I can handle cold and rain. Just don't like those tornadoes and hail and strong winds, none of that. Anyway, comment as many times as you like today and tomorrow, and then the next morning I will draw for a winner from all of the comments to give away the card we make today. Congratulations to the winner of my last card, a new follower, Debbie Warren. Thank you for watching, Debbie, and commenting, and your card is on its way to you. Also, if you can share my video either to your homepage, to a crafty group, to a crafty person that you know, even email me somewhere, let me know if you do that. Sunny Southern Cal. Oh yeah, I bet. Sunny Southern California. We lived there so long, and it is sunny most of the time. You are right. Severe. Oh, snow, Lois. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, we're not getting snow. I can guarantee that. In fact, we're supposed to be a high of 83 today, which is what's fueling all these storms, is this warm weather. Anyway, I don't even know where I was. Yeah. If you can share me, let me know if you do that. I will give you a bonus entry toward today's card, because that really helps my small business out when you share me to people who might not otherwise find me. So I so appreciate it. Okay, let's turn you around. We're going to take you down to my table. Let's see if I can get this to go here. My turnaround button's not working great. There it goes. There's my beautiful greenness out there. We're going to take you down. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. My YouTube is under my name yet, but I'm hoping to get enough YouTube followers that eventually I'll be able to change it to Crazy Stamping Lady. You have to have a certain amount of followers before they let you do that. So if you search for me out there and you subscribe to me, that's going to help me get to that point. And then shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. This is my hostess code through the 14th of this month. We have talked a little bit about this. On the 15th, the reward system is going to change. We will no longer have hostess codes. Every qualifying order you place, and a qualifying order is $20 or more, so it's pretty low. Starting on the 15th, we'll earn 10% back in rewards that you can use on a future order. And you can let those accumulate. You can use them the next time, whatever you want to do. But I love that rewards program. Currently, you have to be part of like a $150 workshop or order to get rewards. In the future, it's going to be wonderful. Excuse me so much. I might need a sip of coffee here. But that starts on the 15th through the 14th. We are still under the hostess code system, and I would appreciate if you can use my hostess code. Some people say they can't find it. It is always to be put in on the page before you go to checkout. Once you go to checkout, you cannot find it. So it's at the top right-hand part of the screen, I think, where it'll say hostess code, and that's where you can enter it. And then it'll tell you you're shopping with me, and that's great because you'll know you have the right hostess code. Okay, moving on from that, because that's almost done, right? I have a beautiful card to share. This is from my friend Linny. She sent me this gorgeous stencil card with the sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I love yellow. I love these twine kind of bows. Linny, this card is beautiful. Thank you so much. And she also, I'm going to cover her address. I don't care if you see mine so much, but she also did the envelope with that same little sunflower down there in the corner. Look how pretty. So thank you, Linny. Thank you for thinking of me and sending this. I am going to put it on my mantle on display. Let's get rid of that. That's my little reminder to show you cards. I have classes this month, guys. If you haven't seen them here on this blog or on my Facebook site, go up to the events and you can see everything that's happening. If you're local, I am doing a kit card class on Friday, April 11th. I am also doing an in-person cute as can be and meant to be class, and this is just a thumbnail of each of the projects that we're going to be making. And that is on Saturday, April 26th, in person here at my home. And then I'm duplicating that class. It'll be slightly different because we can't do the stamping, so I'll change up a few things, but it'll be very close to what you see here. I'm duplicating that as an online class in a private online Facebook group, and that is going to be on Monday, April 28th. Again, to see any of these classes, just go up to the events portion of my Facebook page. And if you want to sign up, I'm asking you to please email me at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. That's just so I can keep all of my RSVPs in one place. I know people sometimes put them in on the Facebook group, and I understand that. But if you do that, just email me too so I know where I stand with all of this. Payment can be made by sending me a check or through Venmo. And if that doesn't work out, let me know and we'll figure something else out. So that is my classes. Check those out. Last chance list is up, guys, where you can shop for products that are going away. There are so many beautiful things going away and so many on sale. I pulled out my stamp sets that are retiring, and I should have counted them. 40, 50, 60. I think I have about 70 that are retiring. So I was shocked at how many are on that last chance list. The good thing is they're on that last chance list basically till they sell out. So I can still use them and show them to you until they're gone and encourage you in case there would be something there that you missed and you would love. My free monthly class, this is given out each month with qualifying orders, and a qualifying order with me for my class is $50. So if you place a $50 order with me, either before the 15th with my hostess code or after the 15th where you can just earn it, you will get 3 free card kits for a $50 order, 3 free card kits plus a bonus project for a $75 order, 3 free card kits plus a bonus project, and a half a pack of embellishment with a $100 order. Every single smaller order does receive a handmade card from me at the end of the month as a thank you. All orders, no matter how big or small, are entered in my monthly prize drawing. And when you place a $50 order, I do send you a bundle tutorial of card ideas. If you place a second one during the month, you get a different bundle tutorial. And if you place a third one, I'll send you up to a third one that month. So, and that has happened at times, so be aware of that. The kits that are earned in the month of April will be sent out by May 1st. Excuse me. Wow. Hope I can talk here. I think I have this all wrong. I'm not even sure what's happening down here. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what this is. I guess that was for, I guess I had the wrong month there. Yeah. Kits that are earned in the month of April will be mailed out by May 1st. There will be an online card class that anyone can watch on Monday, May 12th, where we'll put those together. If you want to see an idea of the cards that I make, the class this month will be on April, let me double check to be sure, I think it's April 14th. Yeah, so check that out on April 14th, 11 o'clock a.m. right here in this group. And you can see the kind of kits I send out and get an idea of what you might get if you order. Mini catalog, annual catalog, they are going away. The last day to order from them is May 5th. All of the last chance stuff out there is either from these catalogs or the online exclusives. Again, there is a ton there, guys. Make sure you check it out and don't miss out on some of those great deals if it's product that you want. Today, I'm going to be using some of the last chance items. So out of the catalog, on page 41, I am going to be using the Wildly Flowering Sweet Collection. And actually I'm not, because I'm not using any of this. I am using the Wildflower Designs bundle, which is this stamp set and these dies. And I'm going to show you them up close and personal because they are adorable. And you can see some things out of here are on sale on the last chance list. And then we're also going to be using, if I can get to that page, getting close, guys. I can get there. Let's see. I don't know why it won't open to that page. I guess there. We're also going to be using the Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder. I am so sad that this is going away. There are like 2 embossing folders that are my all-time favorite. I don't think I'll ever get rid of them. I could be wrong. But it is this layering florals that is also going away, and this distressed tile. So be aware they're both on sale. The distressed tile is now $9. The layering flowers is now $8.80 while supplies last. So anything on the last chance could be gone in 10 minutes. It could be gone in 2 months. You never know. When supplies go away, it goes away. And then the new catalog will be starting out on May 6th. If you need a catalog and didn't order from me in the past 6 months, drop me an email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com and we'll figure out how to get you one. If you did order from me in the last 6 months, that'll automatically be coming to you sometime this month directly from Stampin' Up. So yay to all of that. Okay, guys, let's look at some of this product. Here are a couple of the items I'm using today. They are both on the last chance list and they coordinate. The stamp set itself is not on sale, so it's $22. And usually if it's not on sale, it just means they have a smaller amount of inventory and they know it's going to sell out. And they probably don't want to sell out too much ahead of the dies, so they're keeping it at the regular cost for now. In the future, that could be reduced. You never know. Or it could stay the same, or they could just sell out. The Wildflower Designs dies, though, that coordinate with this are on the last chance list. They were $31. They're now $27.90. And they're beautiful, guys. They are beautiful. I'm going to pull this out because we're going to be using a couple of these today. So this is my favorite one out of this set. It is this little kind of lacy, vintagey border. And we're going to be using that. So I'm going to put it right here in my little magnetic tray so I don't lose it, so we can use it. We're also going to be cutting out a couple flowers. So I'm going to grab this outline and this outline so that we can cut out our flowers in a minute. So let me put those in there. And then I'm going to set the rest of these aside. So these again are on the last chance list. They are beautiful. I like these borders too. I like borders that you can cut out layers on your cards all the time. I think they're great. And these are gorgeous too, and they all kind of layer together, which is wonderful. But we're using that lacy one today. So here is our recipe. It's all the products that I'm using and the sizes of what I used. I will put this back on the screen at the end with the card in case you want to take a screenshot. And I will also post a picture of the card with the recipe in the comments of this video. So you can come back there and see that later. Let's take out the things in here. Some little pieces here. So I have my basic white envelope. I have a little strip here. This is for my sentiment. This is 3 1/4 by 3/4 inch. I have a scrap piece of paper of basic white where I stamped my images because we're going to color these with blends. And whenever you color with blends, you want to stamp your images using the Memento Black, Tuxedo Black ink. And then you want to let it dry thoroughly. So I always stamp them ahead, maybe 10 minutes at least. But these I just stamped last night because I was in here working in my craft room. So they'll be ready to color in a minute. I have a layer of Moody Mauve that is just a scrap, and this is to cut out one of our dies, so we're going to do that also. I have a piece, and I'm going to show you this. I have a piece of basic white for the inside of my card. Now usually I cut my layers down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. That is a 1/4 inch down from the size of the card for the inside. But you all know the prices of cardstock are going out, so I keep trying to think of ways I can save on our cardstock costs. And one way to do that is to cut your paper a little bit differently. Let's see if I can set these aside and show you this. So if you take an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of cardstock and you cut, so I'm going to try to lay these here and give you an idea of how this is going to work. And you cut this down. Hopefully I'm trying to see if this all shows on the screen. I think it does. Okay. So that's loosely how it is. You are cutting one strip right here at 5 inches. And then on this 5-inch piece, you're going to cut every 3 1/2 inches. So you're going to end up with 3 1/2 by 5 pieces with a little strip that you can use for sentiments left over. And then on the other layer, because this is now 3 1/2, you're going to cut these by 5. So you'll end up with 2 more 3 1/2 by 5 pieces and another piece that you can use as a layer on a card. That gives you 5 inside pieces for your card. And I am finding I love the way it looks. I wasn't sure if I would, but it does save you a little bit on your cardstock. And I'm going to show you when you lay it inside your card and center it, it looks just fine in there. It is a little taller than it is wide, so you have a little more border on the sides, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it gives it a little bit of character, which I don't mind at all. It's plenty room to write for most things I want to say. So that is just one way to cut your cardstock down and save a little bit for your cardstock. So I wanted to show you that. I'm going to move this out of the way. Those pieces. We'll keep the one for the inside of the card. We have a card base that is Moody Mauve. This is an A2 base, so it's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Pebbled Path, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to be a layer on the front of the card. And a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Now this is what I ran through that 3D folder. Can you see all that depth and dimension on there? Oh, I just love this folder so much. I'm so sad it's going away. Here it is. It's the Distressed Tile 3D folder. It was $10. It's on the last chance list for $9. And it is beautiful, guys. It is just an amazingly beautiful embossing folder. And I embossed it before coming on because it has to go through my large cut and emboss machine, and that doesn't really fit on my desk well. So I went and did the embossing ahead of time. So I'm gonna grab this just in a second and show you a couple things. So I talked about saving paper. We're gonna have this as a card base, this layer over it, and this layer over that. So what I'm gonna do is take this pebbled path piece, say that several times, and I'm gonna punch out a couple pieces out of here for future cards. This is another way to save on your cardstock. And then I can make these into cards for something else later. So I just punched out 2 of those right out of the center of this paper. It's gonna get covered up. It makes your card lighter for mailing, which is very nice. It doesn't hurt the look of the card at all because it's gonna be completely covered up. And it gives you extra layers to use on future cards. So this punch here is the To the Point label punch, which is continuing. And I love the look of it, and it can go vertical or horizontal, whatever works better on your card. And now I have 2 more layers for that. So there you go. Just another cardstock saving trick. Okay, so let's play with our card here. I am going to set this all aside for a minute. We are going to take our flowers and color them, and I'm coloring them with blends. So let me grab my blends here. The colors we're using are retiring in colors, some of them, not all of them. These are the Moody Mauve as well as the cardstock. These are on the last chance list. Usually the set of 2 blends is $11, but these are on the last chance list for $8.80. Beautiful color, just an in color that's going away. We also have Wild Wheat, and these are on the last chance for $6.60. So if you're interested in those, get them while they're there. I'm also going to coordinate the stems with Lost Lagoon, and I have my color eraser here if I need it. I did want to point out that these are tiny little flowers. We're really not going to do a lot of blending on them. So if you just wanted to straight color them, you could do that as well using our Stampin' Write markers if you have them. This is the set of the 5 retiring in colors that are going away. And this set was $17.50. It is now $10.50 on the last chance list. So if you like markers, that is a great deal, guys. That's like just over $2 a marker. You can't find them at that cost anywhere. So yes, yay to that. So that is out there on the last chance list, just to give you an idea of what's out there and why you don't want to miss it. So let's take our Lost Lagoon blend, and I am just going to color in the stem on these flowers. Now I am not sure what flowers these are. This looked a little bit like a milkweed plant to me, but we're not going to color it exactly like a milkweed plant. It'll be close maybe. And this I have no idea, some kind of little daisy type flower. But it doesn't matter because you can make your flowers whatever you want them to be. So I'm just going to come in here with my Lost Lagoon. I'm not really shading and shadowing this. I'm coloring the whole thing. And then maybe coming down right by the stem and just adding a little bit heavier hand to give it a little darkness, but nothing much at all. I'm just mainly just coloring these in, and that's why markers would work fine. I'm not going to worry about coloring any other green on these, just that little bit. And now we're going to come in, I think I'm going to start with the Wild Wheat, and I'm going to color my flower. So I'm going to start with light Wild Wheat. Excuse me. And come and color my flowers. Again, I don't know exactly what they are, but I do love flowers. Oh my gosh. Having fresh flowers in the house or in the yard is just so wonderful. And all of my hydrangea plants out front and my daylily plants are thriving in this hot, humid weather. They look so beautiful, guys. I am excited to have them blossom. Okay, actually, you know what? I am going to bring this back. Sorry, I didn't notice there's a little bit of a base on those flowers, and I am going to add some Lost Lagoon. And then I'm going to beg for you to just bear with me for a minute while I take a sip of my coffee, because my voice is coming and going. Oh my goodness, I love coffee so much, you guys know. You know what? I'm going to show you something real quick. I don't know if I've ever showed you this before, and it is totally off base of what we're doing, so we'll push that out of the way. I'm going to show you the coaster I use in my craft room. This is a coaster that I stamped and colored now 10 years ago, maybe, at least 8 years ago, on tumbled tile. And it says, be calm and leave it to God. And every time I look at it, it brings me such peace and such joy. And I keep it right here in my craft room. And I just thought, you know, that is beautiful. I want to share it. I don't know why these things come in my brain, but my brain is a little bizarre. This was actually just colored with watercolor pencils. I think it was stamped with StazOn, colored with watercolored pencils. And then I sprayed like a shellac over it 2 or 3 times. And it is holding up so gorgeous. And I just love it. So that's my little coffee share with you today, my coaster. Okay, let's move on. Let's get back to crafting here. I'm going to now take my dark wild wheat. And like I said, I'm not doing a lot of shading on these. So all I'm going to do is just come down on the very bottom of these little petals and add a little more darkness to the base. That makes it look slightly more artistic maybe, I don't know. But it gives it a little extra color, and that's all we're going to do. Next, I'm going to take my light Moody Mauve, and we're going to color in these flowers. And these are tiny, so I'm not going to worry too much about them. I'm just going to go along the lines and color them in. This is pretty close, in all honesty, to the color of milkweed blossoms. I don't know if you've all seen those. When I grew up in Wisconsin, we used to have milkweed in our backyard. And I know milkweed are great for monarch butterflies. They love it. They thrive on it. They'll lay their eggs and make their cocoons and pupas or whatever they're called. I don't know all that, but milkweed was always so fun for us. And then in the fall, if you do have milkweed by you, or if you don't, a little knowledge. In the fall, the milkweed plant forms these pods, and that's all I can say. They're about 3 inches long, maybe 2.5 to 3 inches long, and they're a pod. And as they dry inside, they have all the feathery little seeds for the milkweed plant. And when it opens up, when it finally breaks open in the fall, those seeds can blow out on the wind, and that's what seeds more milkweed plants. And we used to collect those pods when we were little. This is a great memory. And my mom would take them and she would dry them completely, the stems and the pods, and then she would spray paint them silver and gold and put them in an arrangement on the table for the holidays. And that is just such a cool memory for me. I would love to do that someday, just in her honor. Okay, so that's our Moody Mauve flowers. To add a little bit of depth to this, I'm going to take my dark Moody Mauve and just come back in here and color some of those little tinier blossoms that haven't opened up yet, just to give another contrast in color. Like I said, these are so tiny, you can't really shade them, but by coming in with a little that darkness here and there, it gives you, again, just a little more contrast and a nicer look to that flower. So that is that. Let's cut those out. Let's grab our little mini cut and emboss machine. This one I can get on the table, which I love. I'm going to place this on here. We're going to grab our dies, and I'm going to grab some washi tape. So I have some pieces here that are well used, but still a little sticky and should hold these in place. And we're just going to place this one around the milkweed type plant. Like that. Let me make sure. You want to get your line. So take a second when you're doing this. You want to make sure that the actual die goes around all the edges and that your stem is in place in the stem part, because that is easy to miss. And then when you cut it out, you're not going to have your stem, and that's sad. So take a minute to make sure this is in place. I am actually gonna, I moved it a little bit, so we're gonna readjust it here, make sure it's on my plate. This is a tiny one, guys, with lots of little tiny edges on it, so I wanna be sure I get it right where I want it, which I think is there. Let's put this down. Hopefully that'll hold that in place. And then we're gonna do our other one, and I'm gonna grab another piece of washi. It's a little long, I'm gonna tear a little bit of it off. And we're gonna do this one. And again, I don't know what kind of flower this is, but it is a yellow flower. How does that go? A wild wheat flower. And I'm gonna do the same thing. So when I lay my washi, I like to lay it on the card outside my design, on the actual die, and then on the cardstock within the design. And that seems to hold it the best for me. I'm gonna gently lay this other plate on there, and then we're gonna crank that through and cut those out. Just like that. And they should come out beautifully. There we go, one of them. And here is our other one. And I'm gonna set my little dies over here in my metallic, my little magnet bowl again, just to hold them in place. Excuse me. And we're going to use that scrap of Moody Mauve that I had here. What did I do with it? It's here. Here it is. That scrap of Moody Mauve. And we're going to cut out this beautiful frame. Now, I'm not going to worry about washi on here. This is big enough and I have enough wiggle room that it's not going to go anywhere. Lay my plate down on top of it. And we're going to run that through. Now, the cool thing about this when you cut it out, let me show you this, is that it cuts out not only that beautiful ruffly border, but it also cuts out another layer that I can also now use on another card. And I love that. I love when I have all these layers. Sometimes I'm just having pieces here and I'll start putting things together. And you can layer layers on top of each other. So you could put this on top of there that way if you wanted to, or the other way even, where it goes off a little bit. So yeah, so I keep those all in a basket and I use them when I'm ready to make more cards, which is pretty much all the time, right? Let's get rid of our plates. Pull our card back in. I'm going to put this in my magnetic tray. So let's put our card together. I am going to start by putting the inside in, I think. So we're going to stamp on here. I'm going to take my Memento ink. And all I'm going to do is stamp that same little flower that we colored on the outside. But I'm not going to color it. I'm just going to stamp it down here on the corner of my inside piece of my card. I'm going to take my envelope and we're going to stamp on here too. So on here I'm going to stamp my larger flower and down toward the bottom of it, my smaller flower. You can stamp anything you want on your envelopes. I just do not like naked envelopes. Some people don't care. And if you don't mind, then just send them the way they are. But I always try to put something on my envelope to make it beautiful. And then we're going to take the sentiment, one of the sentiments out of this set. It says sending happy thoughts, which I think is always an appropriate sentiment to send. Why would you want to send bad thoughts, right? Sending happy thoughts. And I'm going to put that onto my 3 1/4 by 3/4 inch piece of cardstock here. And if I'm lucky, it'll be on there and straight. Beautiful. There we go. We'll get that out of the way. So now we have basically all of our pieces for our card. Let's put this together. I'm going to take the insert and grab my seal. And just putting some seal in the corners. I don't put it all the way around. I don't put it all the way across. The corners hold it perfectly. We're going to place this on the inside of our card. Remember, your top and bottom borders now with these new inserts are going to be less than your side ones. So when you're placing it, think about that as you lay it down. So you have a little more on the sides than the top and bottom. So there's our insert on there. Now I'm going to take our piece of Pebbled Path And again, all of the in colors, all of those 5 in colors, all the paper, all the ink, all the refill, all the markers, all the blends are on that last chance list and only available while they last. So if there is a refill you need, or you need more cardstock, now's the time to get it, guys, before they're gone. Put that on there. And every year it seems like once everything's gone, people will say, hey, what happened to Pebble Path? I wanted to get some more of that cardstock. It's gone, guys. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone. That's what happens with our in colors. Okay, so that does look kind of funky, but we're going to cover that up. I'm going to use this vintagey piece of cardstock that we ran through the embossing folder, but we're going to make it even look a little bit more vintagey. So I'm going to use my snips and just go along the edge of this cardstock, making it rough, bend in a little bit. If it tears, no problem. That is actually the look I am going for. I want this to look like a piece of paper that might have been laid around for a long time, that's been shuffled in piles, that's old and vintagey. Yeah, so we're just gonna rough this up all the way around. I like using the side of my snips to start this, to get this going, and then I'll show you what I do to finish it and make it the way I want it. Just gonna go a little bit more here. This is a good one for getting those little torn edges, which I love on that vintage look. Because of the way the embossing folder is, where those creases come up to the end, when you run your scissors across them, they automatically seem to tear a little bit, and that's what I'm after, that look. So take your time with this, guys. You don't want to ruin your layer. You just want to rough it up, as I say. Okay, so now we have that started. I'm going to take my seal, and because this is a 3D embossing folder, I am going to run my seal on the back of here, all along the edge, not right up to the edge, because I want to be able to work on those edges a little bit more, but pretty close. So I'm just leaving a little bit of border outside of where my seal is. We're going to lay this on top of that pebbled path border and cover up where I punched out those 2 sections, like that. I'm just going to run my finger around here to make sure this is sealed down really well where I've placed my seal. And then this is what I like to do. Now I have fingernails. You could also still do this with your snips a little bit if you wanted to. To me, it's a little bit harder. You can also use the spatula end of your Take Your Pick tool. And what you're going to do is just continue to roll these sides up a little bit. You want to have that raised look. So the spatula end works pretty well. But because I have fingernails, they're my favorite tool for this. So I'm just going to use my fingernails and come in here and pull up that edge all the way around. The spatula will work. It takes a little longer maybe than fingernails, but you know what the heck. We use the tools we got, right? Whether it's fingernails or Take Your Pick tools or snips. I'm going to pull this. And I just think that this really gives a lot of depth and character to that layer. So can you see now how those edges, this one I want up a little bit more over here, how those edges are kind of rolled up and torn in places. Yeah, I love it, love it, love it, love it. This whole set just yielded itself to this look for me. Now we're going to take our little frame that we cut out, and I'm going to use Tombow for this because it's pretty narrow. And we're just going to put a bead of Tombow around the edge. You do not need a lot. Tombow sticks very well. So you just want to put a little bit because you don't want it oozing out onto your card where you don't want it, okay? I hope that makes sense. So I'm just putting a tiny little bead of Tombow all the way around. I am going to grab a tweezers. Oh, I have my small one here, but this big one was really handy, so we're going to do this one. And we're going to lay this on to the front of our card, centering it top to bottom, side to side. And by using the tweezers, it allows me to lay it there a little bit easier. And now because it is Tombow, you have a little bit of wiggle room. So I can see mine slightly cockeyed, a little bit crooked. So I'm going to try to straighten that. Whoops. Just like that. Does that look pretty good? I think that's pretty straight. Maybe that has to come that way a little bit. And then I'm going to give it some nice firm pressure so that that glue really adheres to where I embossed that piece underneath it, just like that. Let's add our beautiful flowers. So for the flowers, I am going to grab a dimensional, and I'm just going to place a dimensional behind the top of the flower. Okay, and we're going to place this coming a little bit off of the edge right here and up toward the top a little bit, just like that. And then I'm going to take my other little flower, again, just with a dimensional at the top. And the reason is because we're going to cover the stems with our sentiment, so they don't really need to be stuck down right now. And I will put a little glue dot or a little dimensional on the back of my sentiment too, and that'll help hold them in place. You could do more if you want, it's just not necessary. And I try to eliminate the unnecessary. Okay, so there's our two little flowers on there. And then we're going to use the Sending Happy Thoughts sentiment. And I want to give this a little character. So we're going to curve it. I'm going to curve it on the back so that it curves up like a little arc like that. And then I'm going to curve the ends back up the other direction. Just very gently. You don't want to ruin your sentiment. Take your time with this. Very gently with your bone folder. Curve it one way and then your ends back up the other way. So now you have that kind of banner look to it as it goes on your card. We're going to take a dimensional and put it right behind the center part here where I want it to kind of stay raised. Just like that. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of Tombow glue. Excuse me, wow. And I'm going to place it on these last bottom two scallopy areas on each side. I'm going to lay a little bit of Tombow glue there. And that's going to hold my banner also in place. And you'll see when I lay it here what I'm talking about. Okay. So we have this. I'm going to take this now and lay it right over the stems on my flower and push it down until that dimensional hits those stems and holds them in place. And then I'm going to take my two sides here and just push down onto that Tombow glue. And when that dries, it's going to hold that whole waviness of that banner. I hope you can see that in what I'm talking about. Just gives it a little bit more character than a flat sentiment. And then we have to add some bling. So for my bling, I'm using the rainbow adhesive back dots. These are continuing. They are not going away. But they didn't have exactly the color I wanted. So what I did is took these two down here. I think these were maybe Petunia Pop or Fresh Freesia. Not even sure for sure. And I colored them using my dark Moody Mauve blend. So to do that, all you do is use the brush point, run it over. Do I have the dark one? I want to be sure I got the right one here. Yep, the dark one. You just run it over the dot. I'm going to go to this large one and run it over this dot. And then you can come back a couple times and build that color up and make it darker. So that's what I did on those first three. I'm going to do that here on these right now. I kind of just dab it to get a little extra of the ink out there on it. And that helps make it darker. Did that with this one too. I don't know if we're going to use 3 or 5. On the recipe list I put 3. But on my prototype card, which is a different color, and if you stick around, I'll show it to you, I ended up using 5 gems. So let's see what we end up with on here. It's always fun to just play and see what we like. So let's place some gems. I'm going to grab one of these larger Moody Mauve ones, and we're going to place that, I think, right up here, like that. And one of the smaller ones, and place that right up here at an angle from that first one. And then we'll take another, which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to take another small one and put it down here. So that was my initial thought, but when I did my other card, I thought, you know, it needed a little bit more because there's a lot of white going on. So I think I'm going to do the same thing on here. I think I'm going to take another one of my large ones that I colored and place that down here a little further to the side, and then balance it with another one if I can get it off here, up toward the top. Not exactly balanced. I don't want to make it look so even. And I'll pull it a little more out here. But just to kind of scatter those onto the front of my card. There you go. What do you think? I love it. Hang on, like I said, stick with me. I'm going to show you my one I made ahead of time. Totally different color scheme. Love it too, but it's a little different looking. So let's get rid of our take your pick tool and get rid of some of my backings for my dimensionals that show up everywhere if I don't throw them in my trash. Here's the card I'm giving away today. I think it has such a soft vintagey look. I love it. You can keep distressing the edges of this as much or as little as you like, guys. So, and if you don't like the distressed edge, it would have been perfectly fine just the way it is. But on vintage cards, yeah, that vintage look, I love the distressed edge. Now open it up. You can see, you can't see anywhere where I punched out those pieces on that pebbled path. So that didn't waste anything. And the inside, we have that beautiful little flower there to coordinate. I love it. I hope you guys like it. I really, really do. Let me show you the one I made ahead of time. So I like to play with these and have a couple different options. This is the one I made as I was planning this card. Same exact card, just a different color scheme. On this one for my gems, I used the sparkle gems. I think these are continuing too. I didn't actually look these up, but I think they're continuing. They come in gold, silver, and black, and so I used the black ones on here, and the black really makes this pop. On here, though, I wanted a little bit softer look, and I wanted to use my in colors, so we used the pebbled path. That is 2 color options for you guys. I like them both, a little bit different. So we're gonna pull off this one and keep out the one that I'm giving away. Let me grab my recipe sheet here. And if you want to take a screenshot of this, please feel free to do so. And like I said, I will post this later in the comments so that you have it there. Now my videos only stay up 30 days. So within 30 days, I will take this video and migrate it over to my YouTube channel so that you can find it there if you want it later. Thank you for taking some time with me today. I really appreciate it. Skies are getting pretty dark and gray out there, which who knows what that means, right? I hope you liked this project and some of the tips and tricks I shared with you. Don't forget to leave your comments for a chance to win this card. You have till tomorrow night to be entered, and I would love to hear from you. Finally, I would love to have your business. If you're looking for any Stampin' Up! Products, or if you're interested in joining my crazy Stamping Ladies team, or if you need a catalog, just hit me up, guys. I am here for you. I'm here to answer your questions, to be your creative coach. Feel free to reach out to me at any time at crazystampinglady@gmail.com, and I will get back to you. I plan to be back here on Tuesday, God willing, to share more with you, encourage you, and create with you. And until then, have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.